I kind of feel Mr. Gaddis kind of phoned it in on this chapter with inheritance because he's only got 3 problems in here and they basically are all the same thing. I would really like ask you to go back and look at the video Writing Classes Coding the Quiz, and then also the lecture on inheritance, because it goes back and shows you how inheritance can be used in that. But I mean, this is just pitiful. I'm glad nobody had to buy this book. Let me just say that. So anyway, here we are. Problem number 3, chapter 11. Hooray. Write a class name person with name, address, and telephone number. Write customer. That's a subclass that has the customer number and a Boolean data attribute indicating whether the customer wishes to be on a mailing list, and then show that customer class in a simple program. Well, I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to do it however I want to. So class person, we're actually going to do an initializer that has more than just self. We're going to do self, we're going to do name, we're going to do address, and we're going to do phone. We're going to do them all. So self.name is equal to name, self.address is equal to address, self.phone is equal to phone. Okay, so there we go. So we're telling this program that to actually create a person, you need to have a name, address, and phone number already. And once you have those things, then you can actually create a person, okay? And so then we need to, it doesn't actually tell us, we just need to demonstrate it. So let's actually go ahead and do def str like this, self. We're going to create a string representation here. And let's return something like, let's do an f string here, self.name, and then we'll do a new line, and we'll do self.address, and then we'll do a new line, and then we'll do self.phone like that. Okay, so there we go. So there's a person, name, address, and phone. So now let's do class customer, okay? And that needs to inherit from person. That's the whole point of this chapter is inheritance. And it says it right here, name customer, that is a subclass of the person class. Okay, so this has 2 things that it needs. Definite, self. It needs the customer number, so the customer number, and then also the Boolean data attribute on mailing list. So on mailing list, okay? Or let's just say let's just do mailing list opt-in. That's nice. Okay. So we have those things, but here's the deal, okay? To create a customer, I need to be able to create a person class. And to create a person class, I need a name, address, and phone number. It absolutely is required that I need a name, address, and phone number. So to be able to create this customer class, not only do I need these 2 pieces of information, but I also need these 3 pieces of information. So I need to add those to this list of things here. To create a customer, I need their name, their address, and their phone number because they're a person. And then I need their customer number and the mailing list opt-in. Once I have those things, I can call super.init like that. And now I'm going to take these values that it's giving me as a customer and pass that to the person initializer. So it can initialize those for me. So I'm going to pass in name, address, and phone. This is me using inheritance. This person has these 3 things, so I don't need to declare them here in the customer class. It's like all of these are copied down there. But the only way that these will run is if I call that init thing. So it's going to call this and then jump up here and then do the address and the name and the phone number. And then we'll do the customer number and stuff. So self.customer number is, oh boy, customer number is going to be customer number. And self.mailing list opt-in is going to be equal to mailing list opt-in. I guess it really doesn't like that. I'm going to make opt-in 2 words because, just the squiggles is going to bug me. Bugs me. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm also going to create a string representation of this, of self, self. But here's the deal. I've already got a string representation from person right here. So it already prints out the name, address, and phone number. I'd like to use that too, and then also add this information to it. So here's what I'm going to do. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to return super.string. So that's going to call this and get back this string, okay? Then I'm going to add the rest of the information to it. I'll make this an f string, self.customer number, and then something like you know, opt in, and then self dot mailing list opt in. So there we go. So what I've done is I've used this string representation. I've used it here. I've said, hey, I'm a customer, which means I'm also a person. Gosh darn it. So I want to see the name, address, and phone number. But I don't want to have to like do all of this here. I don't want to have to do all of that here. So instead, I'm going to ask, I'm saying super, which means the person class. I'm saying, hey, person class, tell me what your string representation is for this customer. So it'll return a string with name, address, and phone number right here. And then I add more information to it, which adds to the customer thing. So now that I have that def main, now I'm going to do a thing. I'm just going to do customer equals customer. Okay, customer like that. And now I'm just going to do it. Curtis, my address is 123 Main Street like that. My phone number is going to be, 415-555-1212. The customer number is going to be AB123. And my mailing list. Do I want to be on the mailing list? Heck no, I don't want to be on that mailing list. So now that I've got that, I'm going to print out, not Curtis, but I'm going to print out customer. Sometimes I really just want to print out my name. You know what I mean? And if name is equal to main like this, let's just call main. Okay, so now I'm going to run this. There's no input or anything. It should just print out some values. And that's what it does. Curtis, 123 main, AB, opt-in false. But let's go ahead and like let's work through this. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and then I'll put a breakpoint here where I'm creating the customer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our Python debugger, and let's see what happens here. So the first thing that happens, let's see where we are. So we're over here. We're currently let's see where we are in the call stack. So if I click on module, I'm in main. If I click on main, I'm on this line right here. I'm creating this customer. And when I call this create customer thing here, its initializer runs. So right here, that initializer. So I'm right here. What I'd like to do is figure out, what does this do? Super init name, address, phone. If I step into that, boom. Oh, I stepped over it. Darn it, that's not what I meant. Let me just restart this really quick. Boop. Restart. Okay, so here I am again. I'm going to step into it. Bing. Now I'm up here. And I've got the name. You see the name, the address, and the phone have been passed in to this function. But what is self? Self is still a customer object. Even though I'm in the person class, I'm still a customer object because a customer is a person object. A customer object is both a customer object and a person object at the same time, because a customer is a person. So here I'm a customer object, and I'm calling the person initializer to set up that person information, okay? So name, address, phone, and now I'm back down here again. I finished this, and I'm back down here, and now I'm going to do these two, boom and boom, okay? Now I'm going to hit play again, and now I'm at print customer, okay? And if we look inside this customer object, we can see all of those values are now set on the customer object. There's name, address, and phone, which was set by the person class. And then there's customer number and mailing list opt-in, which was set right here in the customer class. So now when I print customer, it comes here to this, give me the string representation. And remember, this is a customer. And the first thing it does is it calls, give me this string. Give me the string of how the person class looks. So I'm going to pop into there, and here it is. It's going to print this, or it's going to create this big string with Curtis and my address and my phone number, and then that's going to get returned, okay? So I'll boop over that. Now I'm back here, and you can see this return value. Let's take a look at this return value. That return value that came back is Curtis, new line, 123 Main Street, and I've got this string here. That's what this part is right here. And now I'm going to add some more data to it. I'm going to add some more to this right here, so that it'll have another new line with the customer number and another new line and whether or not it's an opt-in. That's going to get added to this string and then returned. So when I step out of that, you can see right here, here's that return value. It has the original string right here, that Curtis Main Street phone number, but then it added the new line right here, and the customer number in the new line opt-in false. This is what inheritance is really about. Being able to use functions, methods on the superclass, and then specializing the same ones. You see, these both have a string on it right here. Because this is a customer class or a customer object, it calls the string on customer and then calls the string on, because I said to, call the string on person as well. And so that's what ends up getting printed out here. Boom, just like that. And so if I open back up my terminal somehow, I never remember how to do this. Open up the terminal. New terminal. Let's kill that one. So there it is. So now it's printed all 5 of those pieces of information out. And that's really what inheritance is about, friends. It's not about like writing getters and setters and all of that kind of dumb stuff. It's about putting data in a base class that you want to be able to use in multiple child classes, and then having those child classes use the methods and the data from the parent class. The really important thing here is name, address, and phone is in the person class, but I never say name, address, and phone here in the customer class. See, the customer class is only dealing with customer number and mailing list opt-in. It's only there. It's the person class that deals with the name, address, and phone number. And so this is nice object-oriented stuff. This is a good answer for problem number 3 in chapter 11.